Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing some woodwork. That's what I normally do during the nicer seasons. I have been working on a lot of metal work, just teaching myself to weld a bit, but we're going to get back to some woodwork, kind of increase my inventory to my online store. Normally I make them about this size, a little bit bigger. I think that's what most people see. I have noticed lately, though, that I think there is a good market for smaller sizes. So, a smaller plant, maybe just some flowers, even, a small, pepper plant or something along those lines. So this one here is 18 inches in height, 19 inches in width and length from the top, if we're measuring the top there. So we're going to go smaller. I'm not sure exactly what size just yet. I'm going to measure it out a little bit, but we are going to be refurbishing this pallet. There's a lot you can do with pallets that you find off the side of the road. Businesses are often getting rid of them, so it's good to refurbish that or make projects with that, because the wood's just as good. You do have to work around the holes of the screws and the nails, but depending on what you're making, you could use it for pretty much anything. So we're going to break this apart. Either I'm going to try the crowbar. If that breaks it up, I may go to my Sawzall, cut down the screws. I'll just use it right along the side, right between the two woods, and cut the screws and then lift it off that way, and then I can just press the nails out. I'm going to be making it a lot smaller, so I'll be using the centers there. I don't know if I'm going to go with the smaller pieces yet or the bigger pieces. There's also a couple probably 1x6s on the other side. I think I'm going to use the 1x6s, so there's not as much holes in the side. Those are okay because you put that black felt inside of there that holds the dirt in. But I think smaller size ones are good because you can put it on a table or something like that instead of just having the ground ones. I think there's a market for that, so we're going to try that out. I'm going to start off by breaking this apart, and let's see what wood we get out of it. All right, so here we are. Got it broken down most of the way. That's the bottom half of it. So we're leaving that for now because we got enough wood over here. So these are full of holes, so we may not use these, but we have quite a few planks here. We're gonna cut down just a centerpiece here for the sides and the bottom. Should have enough full pieces. I may use this one for the bottom. 1x6s for the bottom, 1x4s for the sides. Shouldn't need 4 planks up. I should only need 2 to 3 since I'm making it smaller, and on the bottom maybe just 2. We'll see. Don't have exact plans yet, but these are all the nails I had to pry out. Took about 30 minutes or so. Not a ton of time, but it is, time consuming. But it's free, so, that's the best part of it. So next up, we're gonna cut these boards down. Then we will sand them down, get them ready, see how many are actually worth using, and then we will move on from there. All right, so here's what we got for workable wood. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1x6s. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 1x4s. That should be enough to get us a one tabletop planter box like that, just much smaller. But what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna sand all these down, see what they look like, pick out the ones that are gonna work best, and then go from there. This is the leftovers. I got a couple pieces I could use, these pieces with the holes, and then a couple left over at the bottom part of it, but hopefully this is everything we need, and we'll get started working on it right after that. Alright guys, I guess I'll show you a little bit of this cleanup. Sanding's gonna take too long. I got this hand planing.
Vamos a ver todo lo que hay. Disimular, así el problema y la duda no nos ven pasar. Se enoja mi amor, pierde un turno y se baja en esta estación. Tenemos saldo deudor con el mundo allá afuera. Hagamos algo mejor, queda claro, estamos todos saldar las deudas con mi existir. Que el dolor y el temor firmen pactos de alquimia con nuestro vivir. Ese pasado y tu cruz siempre cargan las alas de tu razón. Todo es parte de un plan que vamos escribiendo para vos y para mí. Queda claro, estamos todos acá de paso. Yo me la banco porque sé que estoy con vos. Sí, vamos a ver todo lo que hay. No te asustes, mi amor, disfrutemos al palo de nuestra canción. Vamos a ver todo lo que hay. No te apures, mi amor, despacito este barro es mucho mejor, es mucho mejor, es mucho mejor, es mucho mejor.
Gas right here does not go all the way through. It's just top level. This one, however, we're gonna have to cut out, so it's gonna be a little smaller, but we'll sand that down, get rid of that, and then get it more cleaned up with the sander. All right, guys, here was what we got so far. It's not super clean, but it's just I don't normally refurbish the wood like this. I don't clean it up like this normally, but I just figured I'd try it out. It's a lot more extra labor. And plus you don't have that weathered look on it, but I did want to try this out to see how nice it would come out as. Obviously I could spend a lot more time chewing all this wood up and flattening it out perfectly, but we're not going to do that. Next step is kind of the planning phase. I'm going to plan out exactly how big I want this thing, depending on the wood size of these. Can we get 2 out of it? Probably not, but we may try to do 2 smaller ones out of it rather than just the 1 smaller one. But I'm going to lay all that out, make the measurements that I need, start cutting it, and then we'll start assembling after that. All right, here's what I got so far. So I got 2 of the bigger pieces of 1x6s. We're going, I believe we have so 11 inches by 11 inches. We got 11-inch side pieces for 2 of the sides, 3 pieces up, and then 9 and 5/8 side pieces, 3 pieces up for the other side. They're going to sit inwards, so I'm going to be able to create a box with the sides, and then just connect them on top of these 2 pieces here. And then obviously you can see we have the corner supports there. Once I'm done that, then I'll look to put some corner pieces on there. It's aesthetically pleasing, but also it creates a little bit of strength along the corners, so when the dirt's in there, it doesn't push outwards. This is going to be a lot smaller piece, so we don't need that much strength. So we'll see how it looks once this part is built. And if it looks all right, I might just keep it that way. We'll test it out, obviously, to see how well it works. And then we're going to want that to create that top piece. I have a couple pieces left over to create the edges along the top, which we'll do afterwards. But for now, I'm going to get this together. I don't know if I should use a brad nailer. I don't think that's going to be strong enough. A lot of times what I'll do is I will glue them together and then brad nail along the sides, let that dry. That usually holds pretty strong, but I think I want to screw this together, create a little bit more strength within it. It's a smaller piece, but if I just screw it, that should be enough strength to hold it together. I don't always like the look of the screws, that's why I use brad nails, but I don't know, I'm going to think this through for a minute. I may brad nail it and then screw it afterwards if I don't like the brad nails, but you know, that's what we're going to do for now, and then I'll bring you guys back once she's partly together. All right, guys, here is the somewhat finished results. So obviously this is a pretty rushed job just so I can get this video done in a couple hours, but this is what it looks like so far. Not bad. I did use some new wood for the top because I overcut some of the pieces from the pallet, so I didn't really have much left. Unless I pulled from a different pallet, but I didn't want to do that. I had this little scrap wood, 1x2s that, you know, it looks nice on top, you know, have a nice finish anyway. It didn't come out too bad. I made quite a few mistakes. Normally I would do this over a couple of days so that I could really, you know, I don't always clean up the wood. Sometimes I like to just keep it the way it looks, so that it has that rustic look. But I wanted to clean this up just to see how it went. Not bad. I should have spent more time on the cleanup though, but that's all right. It's not for it's not meant to look great. But another mistake I made is I cut these down to fit the sides, but I forgot that to use them as feet as well. So I just added a piece of the little pieces of cutoff that I had to the bottoms to get it off of the ground. But this is a good starting point because I never made a small one like this, so I don't know exactly what size I was looking for. But I think I like this size. I like these tabletop sizes. I think people are really going to like these, especially if I can use reused wood like pallets. They can keep them at a cheaper price rather than the hundreds of dollars they go for, especially for the bigger size ones. But I think what I'm going to do is I may make one of these out of new wood just to see how that comes out. And then if I can, I'll find some pallets that look nice, that don't have a ton of screw holes and nail holes in them, and grab those and make a couple of these, see how they come out. And I'll leave it the way they were rather than sand them down, so that they have that rustic look to them. And then, you know, we could paint over top of it too. I want to sand it down anyway, but I think the next stage after work tomorrow, I'll come back, I'll sand this down a lot better, smooth out all the edges, and then I'll either apply some stain to it, maybe some paint. I don't know exactly what color I want this just yet. I'm not going to leave it like this and just put a polyurethane on top of it. I'm going to put a color or stain on it. But let me know what you guys think of these. Do you think these will sell? I think these might be pretty popular because a lot of people have those little pots And you can get like designer looking pots and stuff like that, but they're all pretty similar. I think these would be pretty cool for a little outside tabletop, or having a couple of these around the back porch rather than those big huge ones that you can't move around. I don't know, I like it. But I'll make a second video and I'll add this in fully finished with stain and paint so you guys can see it. And then please give me your comments or what you guys think or what I should make next. I'm trying all different things, but this is just what I'm doing for now, because summer's coming around the corner. It's fall right now. Unfortunately, I have a job that I work more in the summer, so I don't have a ton of time to work during that season. But I'm gonna try to spend as much time as I can out here building, because this is what I like to do. But all right, so I appreciate you guys watching, guys, and then if you can, please, subscribe, leave a comment, check the like button if you don't mind, and have a great day.